Salahuddin Ayyubi, also known as Saladin in the West, is a name that echoes through the pages of history as a symbol of bravery, wisdom, and justice. He was not just a military commander but also a deeply religious man who dedicated his life to uniting the Muslim world and defending its most sacred lands. His story is one of resilience, determination, and unwavering faith in the face of enormous challenges. Born during a time of political turmoil and constant threats from the Crusaders, Salahuddin grew up in an era where the Muslim world was fragmented, and its people longed for a leader who could restore the dignity and protect their lands. That leader emerged in the form of Salahuddin, whose vision went beyond personal ambition. He sought not only to conquer but also to unite, not only to fight but also to inspire. Perhaps one of the most extraordinary aspects of Salahuddin's legacy is how he is remembered not only by Muslims but also by his adversaries. Even the Crusaders, against whom he waged relentless battles, admired his chivalry, compassion, and sense of justice. His respect for humanity transcended the boundaries of religion and culture, making him a universally admired figure. Through this video, we will delve into the life of this remarkable leader. From his humble beginnings to his rise as one of the greatest military minds in history, from his role in the Crusades to his legacy as a just ruler, every aspect of his life offers valuable lessons. Salahuddin's story is not just about battles and victories, it's about leadership, morality, and the enduring spirit of Islam. Join us as we journey back in time to explore the life of Salahuddin Ayyubi, a man whose unwavering faith and exceptional leadership continue to inspire millions around the world. Salahuddin Ayyubi was born in 1137 in the town of Tikrit, located along the Tigris River in modern-day Iraq. His full name was Salahuddin Yusuf ibn Ayyub, and he belonged to a Kurdish family of noble lineage. His father, Najem ad-Din Ayyub, was a respected governor and military leader, while his uncle, Shirkuh, was a prominent general who played a crucial role in shaping Salahuddin's early career. From a young age, Salahuddin was exposed to the principles of leadership and discipline, traits that would later define his character. During his childhood, Salahuddin's family relocated to Mosul and later Damascus due to political shifts in the region. Damascus, a cultural and intellectual hub of the Muslim world, became a significant influence in Salahuddin's upbringing. Under the patronage of rulers like Nuruddin Zangi, Damascus was thriving with scholars, poets, and theologians, and Salahuddin benefited immensely from this environment. Education played a vital role in Salahuddin's development. He received a comprehensive Islamic education, studying the Quran, Hadith, and fiqh. Salahuddin was deeply inspired by the teachings of Islam, particularly the values of justice, humility, and unity. These principles became the foundation of his life's mission. Additionally, he studied military strategy, horsemanship, and governance, preparing himself for the challenges that lay ahead. One of the most critical influences on Salahuddin's early life was Nuruddin Zangi, the ruler of Syria and a staunch advocate for Islamic unity. Nuruddin's vision of uniting the Muslim world to reclaim Jerusalem deeply resonated with Salahuddin. Under Nuruddin's mentorship, Salahuddin learned the importance of strategic planning, loyalty to a greater cause, and the need for a united front against external threats. Despite his privileged background, Salahuddin exhibited humility and a strong sense of responsibility from a young age. He was known for his kindness, devotion to prayer, and concern for others. These qualities earned him respect among his peers and set him apart as a leader even before his rise to power. In the chaotic political landscape of the 12th century, Salahuddin's upbringing gave him a unique perspective. He witnessed firsthand the fragmentation of the Muslim world, the constant threats posed by the Crusaders, and the struggles of the common people. These experiences instilled in him a sense of duty to not only protect the Muslim lands but also to restore dignity and unity among his people. As he grew older, Salahuddin began to take on more significant responsibilities, assisting his uncle Shirkuh in various military campaigns. These early experiences on the battlefield sharpened his strategic mind and prepared him for the challenges of leadership. Though he was initially reluctant to pursue a military career, circumstances and his deep sense of duty gradually steered him toward becoming the leader history would remember. Salahuddin's early life laid the groundwork for his remarkable achievements. It was a time of learning, growth, and preparation, molding him into the leader who would later rise to prominence. From the intellectual influences of Damascus to the mentorship of Nuruddin Zangi, every aspect of his upbringing contributed to his eventual role as a unifier and defender of Islam. Salahuddin Ayyubi's rise to power was not a direct or easy path, It was a journey marked by loyalty, strategic brilliance, and the trust he earned from those around him. His ascent began under the shadow of his uncle, Asad ad-Din Shirkuh, a prominent general who played a key role in shaping Salahuddin's early military career. Shirkuh served under Nuruddin Zangi, the ruler of Syria, who had a vision of uniting the Muslim world and reclaiming Jerusalem from the Crusaders. Salahuddin's involvement in this grand mission became the defining feature of his rise. One of the pivotal moments in Salahuddin's career was his participation in the campaigns in Egypt. At the time, Egypt was a wealthy and strategically vital region controlled by the Fatimid Caliphate, which was internally weak and politically unstable. Nuruddin Zangi sought to bring Egypt under Sunni Muslim control, viewing it as a critical step in uniting the Muslim world. Shirkuh, accompanied by Salahuddin, led military expeditions to achieve this goal. Despite being relatively young and less experienced during these campaigns, Salahuddin quickly distinguished himself through his discipline, loyalty, and sharp tactical mind. His ability to adapt to different challenges and his composure under pressure earned him respect among his peers and commanders. Salahuddin also demonstrated exceptional diplomatic skills, which would later become one of his greatest assets. In 1169, following Shirkuh's successful conquest of Egypt, Salahuddin was appointed as the Vizier of Egypt. This appointment marked a significant turning point in his life. At the time, the Fatimid Caliphate was Sunni Islam's rival, and Salahuddin's position as a Sunni Muslim in a Shia-dominated administration was both a challenge and an opportunity. Salahuddin used this position to consolidate power and gradually dismantle the Fatimid Caliphate's influence. One of Salahuddin's most notable achievements during this period was his ability to gain the trust and loyalty of the Egyptian populace. He implemented reforms to stabilize the economy, improve governance, and protect the interests of the people. Salahuddin's focus on justice and fairness endeared him to the masses, laying the foundation for his authority in Egypt. As Salahuddin's influence in Egypt grew, he continued to work towards Nuruddin Zangi's vision of uniting the Muslim world. However, Nuruddin's death in 1174 created a power vacuum that threatened the fragile unity of the Muslim territories. Salahuddin faced resistance from various factions, including those loyal to Nuruddin's son and other regional leaders who sought to assert the dominance. Despite these challenges, Salahuddin proved to be a skilled leader and strategist. He maintained a delicate balance between military campaigns and diplomacy, forging alliances where possible and using force only when necessary. Salahuddin's ultimate goal was not personal power but the unity and strength of the Muslim world against the Crusaders. By 1183, Salahuddin had successfully consolidated his control over Egypt and Syria, bringing key territories under his leadership. This unification was a monumental achievement, as it provided the Muslim world with a strong and cohesive front against external threats. Salahuddin's rise to power was not merely a result of military victories, it was also a testament to his vision, wisdom, and unwavering commitment to a greater cause. One of the most remarkable aspects of Salahuddin's rise was his emphasis on moral leadership. He avoided unnecessary violence, treated his adversaries with respect, and upheld the principles of justice and compassion. These qualities earned him widespread admiration, not only among his followers but also among his rivals. Salahuddin's rise to power was a crucial phase in his life, setting the stage for his legendary campaigns and victories. It was a period of growth, challenge, and relentless effort to fulfill the vision of a united Muslim world. Through his actions, Salahuddin demonstrated that true leadership lies in serving a higher purpose and inspiring others to work toward it. His journey to power was not about personal ambition but about the collective strength and unity of his people. Salahuddin Ayyubi is widely known for his military prowess, his ability to unite divided Muslim lands, and for his brilliant war strategies that were instrumental in reclaiming Jerusalem from the Crusaders. His campaigns and strategies were not merely about victories on the battlefield but about leadership, unity, and a deeply rooted sense of justice and responsibility. Salahuddin's military career was shaped by the lessons he learned from his uncle, Shirkuh, and his mentor, Nuruddin Zangi. His time in Egypt, where he was appointed vizier in 1169, saw him gradually transition from a military commander to a capable statesman and leader. However, his true rise as a military genius became clear during his wars against the Crusaders and his attempts to unite the Muslim world. After being appointed the vizier of Egypt, Salahuddin's primary challenge was to stabilize the country, which had been weakened by internal strife and sectarian division. The Fatimid Caliphate, which ruled Egypt before Salahuddin's rise, had embraced Ismaili Shi'ism, which clashed with the Sunni orthodoxy that Salahuddin held. By dismantling the influence of the Fatimid Caliphate and reasserting Sunni Islam, Salahuddin consolidated his power in Egypt. He also worked to maintain peace between Egypt's various religious and ethnic groups, creating a more stable environment for his future military endeavors. In the early years of his rule, Salahuddin faced threats from multiple factions, including the Crusader states that had begun establishing their presence in the Levant. Salahuddin's early military campaigns, however, focused on securing his control over Egypt, preventing internal revolts, and fortifying key territories. His success in maintaining peace allowed him to build a strong, loyal army, which would later play a critical role in his confrontations with the Crusaders. One of the most pivotal events in Salahuddin's career was the Crusades and his eventual battle with the forces of the Kingdom of Jerusalem. The Crusaders had captured Jerusalem in 1099 and established the Latin Kingdom of Jerusalem. The city's capture and its significance as a holy site for both Christians and Muslims was central to the tensions between the Crusaders and the Muslim world. Salahuddin's vision was to unite the Muslim territories to reclaim Jerusalem from the Crusaders. His opportunity came in 1187 when the Crusaders, under King Guy of Lusignan, attacked the city of Tiberias in northern Palestine. Salahuddin, recognizing the strategic importance of the city, mobilized his forces. The ensuing confrontation, known as the Battle of Hattin, 1187, was one of the defining moments in Salahuddin's military career. Salahuddin's forces, numbering about 30,000 men, faced the Crusader army of about 20,000 soldiers. The battle was decisive, with Salahuddin's forces encircling the Crusader army, cutting off their access to water, and using tactical feints to force the Crusaders into a disadvantageous position. The victory at Hattin led to the complete destruction of the Crusader army. King Guy of Lusignan was captured, and many of the Crusader knights were taken as prisoners. Most importantly, this victory paved the way for the recapture of Jerusalem. Salahuddin's army proceeded to liberate numerous towns and cities previously held by the Crusaders, which weakened their hold on the region and set the stage for the ultimate prize, Jerusalem. After the crushing defeat at Hattin, Salahuddin turned his attention to the city of Jerusalem. The Crusader stronghold had been under Christian control for nearly 90 years, and its recapture was symbolic for both Muslims and Christians. Salahuddin laid siege to the city in 1187, and after a period of intense fighting, the city surrendered. Salahuddin's reputation for fairness and mercy came to the fore during this period. He ensured the safe passage of Christian inhabitants, allowing them to leave the city unharmed. This act of mercy was in stark contrast to the behavior of the Crusaders during their initial capture of Jerusalem, where tens of thousands of Muslims were slaughtered. Salahuddin's conduct earned him the respect of both Muslims and even some Crusaders. His ability to recapture Jerusalem without unnecessary bloodshed became one of his most celebrated acts and cemented his legacy as a just and honorable leader. Salahuddin's military genius was rooted in his ability to adapt to the challenges of warfare. He was a master of both strategic planning and battlefield tactics. Some of the key aspects of his military strategies include: 1. Use of geography. Salahuddin was an expert in utilizing the terrain to his advantage. In battles like Hattin, he used the hot, dry conditions to his advantage by cutting off water supplies and placing his troops in strategically favorable positions. His forces often held the high ground, forcing the enemy into disadvantageous positions. 2. Intelligence and surprise. Salahuddin's forces were known for their use of intelligence and surprise. He often used scouts and spies to gather critical information about enemy movements. Additionally, he made use of feints and surprise attacks, catching the Crusader armies off guard. 3. Tactical flexibility. Salahuddin was known for adapting his tactics to the changing circumstances of battle. In some campaigns, he used rapid, small unit movements to disrupt larger Crusader forces. In others, he employed prolonged sieges to wear down the enemy. This flexibility allowed him to achieve victories in different types of warfare. 4. Unity of forces. Salahuddin was also adept at uniting disparate forces. His army consisted of a mix of different ethnic groups, including Arabs, Kurds, and Turks. Despite the varied backgrounds, he managed to foster unity through a shared vision and by maintaining strict discipline within his ranks. After the recapture of Jerusalem, Salahuddin faced multiple Crusader counterattacks. The Third Crusade, led by Richard the Lionheart of England, was launched in 1189 to reclaim Jerusalem. Salahuddin's forces faced Richard's army in a series of battles. Salahuddin displayed incredible resilience, skillfully defending his positions and preventing the Crusaders from achieving the goal of retaking the city. Although Salahuddin and Richard engaged in numerous skirmishes, both leaders eventually agreed to a truce in 1192. This truce allowed the Crusaders to maintain control of some coastal territories, while Jerusalem remained under Muslim control. Salahuddin's strategic brilliance in these encounters demonstrated his ability to fight not only to win but also to preserve the stability of his empire. Salahuddin continued to defend his territories against Crusader incursions for the remaining years of his life. His military campaigns were not just about expansion, they were about protecting the Muslim lands and ensuring their safety from foreign invaders. He was also focused on preserving the unity of the Muslim world, which he had worked so hard to achieve. His strategies and victories became the subject of admiration for future generations. Salahuddin was not just a military commander, he was a symbol of courage, honor, and justice. His legacy in the Muslim world is remembered as a reminder of how a skilled leader can unite people and overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. His military campaigns and war strategies continue to inspire military leaders and historians to this day. Salahuddin Ayyubi was not only a military genius but also an exceptional administrator and reformer. His governance style reflected his deep commitment to justice, equity, and the well-being of his subjects. As a ruler, he focused on consolidating his territories, improving the administrative framework, and ensuring prosperity for the people under his rule. His governance laid the foundation for a stable and unified Muslim empire during a time of significant external and internal challenges. Consolidating authority. When Salahuddin became the ruler of Egypt and later expanded his influence across the Levant, Mesopotamia, and parts of the Arabian Peninsula, his first priority was to consolidate authority over these diverse regions. He inherited a fragmented political landscape, where local rulers often acted independently, weakening the overall structure of the state. Salahuddin worked to centralize power while respecting the autonomy of regional leaders, ensuring their loyalty through diplomacy and mutual respect rather than brute force. To achieve this, Salahuddin implemented a meritocratic system where officials were chosen based on their competence and loyalty rather than their lineage or tribal affiliations. This approach reduced corruption and fostered a sense of unity among his administration. Governors and military commanders were held accountable for their actions, and Salahuddin ensured that justice was upheld at all levels of governance. Economic reforms. A strong economy was central to Salahuddin's vision of a stable empire. Recognizing the importance of agriculture, he focused on revitalizing the agrarian sector, which had been neglected during the Fatimid Caliphate's decline. Irrigation systems were repaired and expanded, ensuring that farmlands were fertile and productive. Taxation policies were revised to be fairer, reducing the burden on peasants while ensuring sufficient revenue for the state. Trade also flourished under Salahuddin's rule. The stability he brought to the region encouraged merchants to travel and conduct business without fear of banditry or excessive taxation. Ports and trade routes were safeguarded, and Salahuddin's administration worked to facilitate commerce between the Mediterranean, the Arabian Peninsula, and beyond. This economic prosperity not only strengthened his empire but also improved the standard of living for his subjects. Justice was a cornerstone of Salahuddin's governance. He believed that a ruler's legitimacy depended on his ability to provide justice to his people. Salahuddin reformed the judicial system to ensure impartiality and fairness. He appointed qadis, judges, who were known for their integrity and knowledge of Islamic law. Legal disputes were resolved promptly, and Salahuddin himself often took a personal interest in ensuring justice was served. One of the most notable aspects of Salahuddin's judicial reforms was his commitment to religious tolerance. While he was a devout Muslim, Salahuddin treated the Christian and Jewish communities within his empire with respect and fairness. He ensured that they could practice their faith freely and protected their places of worship. This policy of tolerance not only reduced internal strife but also earned him the respect of his non-Muslim subjects. Salahuddin was deeply concerned about the welfare of his people. He believed that a ruler's primary duty was to serve his subjects and alleviate their suffering. To this end, he initiated several public works projects to improve infrastructure and provide for the basic needs of his people. Hospitals were established and expanded to provide free medical care to all, regardless of their social or economic status. These hospitals were staffed with skilled physicians and equipped with the latest medical knowledge of the time. Salahuddin also funded the construction of schools and madrasas to promote education and ensure that future generations would have access to knowledge. Additionally, Salahuddin worked to improve the empire's infrastructure. Roads were repaired and maintained to facilitate trade and travel. Caravanserais were built along major trade routes, providing safe rest stops for travelers and merchants. Water supply systems were improved, ensuring that cities and villages had access to clean water. These initiatives not only improved the quality of life for his subjects but also strengthened the stability and unity of his empire. Salahuddin's devotion to Islam was evident in his efforts to promote religious education and spirituality throughout his empire. He founded numerous madrasas, where students could study the Quran, Hadith, and other Islamic sciences. Scholars and theologians were invited to his court, creating an environment where knowledge and piety flourished. One of Salahuddin's most significant contributions was his support for the preservation and dissemination of Islamic knowledge. Libraries were established and stocked with valuable manuscripts, ensuring that future generations could benefit from the intellectual achievements of the past. Salahuddin's patronage of scholars also extended to fields such as astronomy, medicine, and philosophy, contributing to the intellectual growth of the Muslim world. Even during his numerous military campaigns, Salahuddin remained deeply involved in the administration of his empire. He ensured that the needs of his soldiers were met without neglecting the welfare of his civilian population. Supplies and resources were carefully managed to sustain both the army and the people. Salahuddin's ability to balance his responsibilities as a military commander and a ruler was a testament to his exceptional leadership skills. He also worked to maintain stability in the regions he conquered. Local populations were treated with respect, and efforts were made to integrate them into the broader framework of the empire. Salahuddin's emphasis on justice and fairness ensured that even newly conquered territories remained loyal to his rule. Salahuddin's governance was characterized by a rare combination of strength and compassion. He ruled with an iron will when necessary but always tempered his decisions with mercy and understanding. His reforms created a stable and prosperous empire that served as a model for future Muslim rulers. What set Salahuddin apart from many of his contemporaries was his unwavering commitment to the principles of Islam. He saw himself not just as a ruler but as a servant of Allah, entrusted with the responsibility of leading his people with justice and humility. This sense of duty guided every aspect of his governance, earning him the admiration of his subjects and the respect of his enemies. In summary, Salahuddin Ayyubi's governance and reforms were as significant as his military achievements. His ability to bring stability, prosperity, and justice to a vast and diverse empire is a testament to his extraordinary leadership. His legacy as a ruler who combined strength with compassion continues to inspire admiration and respect across the world. Salahuddin Ayyubi, beyond his identity as a warrior and statesman, was a deeply personal and introspective figure. His private life and characteristics reveal a man of profound humility, strong faith, and a genuine concern for others. These qualities made him beloved by his allies and even respected by his adversaries, painting the picture of a leader whose greatness extended beyond the battlefield. Salahuddin came from a Kurdish family with strong ties to Islamic scholarship and military service. His father, Najm ad-Din Ayyub, was a respected military commander, and his uncle, Shirkuh, played a key role in mentoring and guiding young Salahuddin during his early career. The Ayyubi family's emphasis on Islamic values and discipline profoundly influenced Salahuddin's upbringing. As a father and husband, Salahuddin was known for his kindness and devotion to his family. He maintained close relationships with his children, ensuring they were well educated and brought up with the same values of piety and humility that defined his own life. Despite his responsibilities as a ruler, he prioritized his family, often spending time with them even amidst the pressures of governance and war. One of Salahuddin's most remarkable traits was his humility. Despite his immense power and fame, he led a simple life, avoiding the luxuries and extravagances that many rulers of his time indulged in. Salahuddin often wore modest clothing and preferred simple meals, reflecting his focus on spiritual and moral values over material wealth. He viewed his role as a leader not as a privilege but as a responsibility. This sense of duty was evident in the way he treated his subjects and soldiers alike. Salahuddin was approachable and fair, earning the trust and loyalty of those who served under him. Even his enemies acknowledged his humility, with many chroniclers describing him as a man of great character and virtue. Salahuddin's life was deeply rooted in his faith. He was a devout Muslim who consistently sought guidance from the Quran and the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. His actions were driven by a desire to serve Allah and uphold the principles of Islam, whether in governance, warfare, or personal conduct. Prayer was central to Salahuddin's life, and he was known to spend long hours in supplication, particularly during moments of hardship. He also emphasized the importance of charity, regularly giving to the poor and ensuring that his wealth was used to benefit others. This unwavering devotion to his faith was a source of inspiration for those around him and contributed to his enduring legacy as a righteous and just leader. Salahuddin's generosity was legendary. He gave freely to those in need, often depleting his personal treasury to help the poor, widows, and orphans. His compassion extended beyond his own people. He was known to treat captured enemies with kindness and respect, providing them with food, shelter, and medical care. A notable example of his compassion was during the siege of Jerusalem in 1187. After reclaiming the city from the Crusaders, Salahuddin displayed remarkable mercy, allowing the defeated inhabitants to leave safely and even offering to pay the ransom for those who could not afford it. This act of humanity contrasted sharply with the brutality of the Crusaders when they had captured Jerusalem decades earlier, further enhancing Salahuddin's reputation as a noble and virtuous leader. Salahuddin's personal discipline was a cornerstone of his success. He was known for his tireless work ethic, often spending long hours addressing matters of state, planning military campaigns, or engaging in scholarly discussions. Despite the immense pressures he faced, Salahuddin remained composed and focused, relying on his faith and inner strength to overcome challenges. His resilience was evident during his prolonged campaigns against the Crusaders. Salahuddin faced numerous setbacks, including defeats in battle and betrayals by allies. Yet, he never wavered in his determination to achieve his goals, demonstrating an unwavering commitment to his vision of a unified Muslim world. Salahuddin's charisma was one of his most defining characteristics. He had the rare ability to inspire loyalty and admiration among those who followed him, regardless of their background or rank. His soldiers revered him for his bravery and strategic brilliance, while his subjects admired him for his fairness and compassion. This charisma extended even to his enemies. Richard the Lionheart, Salahuddin's adversary during the Third Crusade, famously expressed respect and admiration for Salahuddin's chivalry and honor. The two leaders exchanged gifts and corresponded during the conflict, creating a unique bond of mutual respect despite being on opposing sides. Salahuddin's personal qualities set him apart as one of the greatest figures in Islamic history. His humility, faith, compassion, and unwavering commitment to justice made him a leader who was not only respected but also deeply loved. These traits, combined with his exceptional skills as a military commander and statesman, ensured that Salahuddin's legacy would endure for generations. In summary, Salahuddin Ayyubi's personal life and characteristics were a reflection of his inner greatness. He was a man who balanced power with humility, strength with compassion, and ambition with faith, embodying the qualities of an ideal Muslim leader. His life serves as an enduring example of how character and values can shape not only a leader's legacy but also the course of history itself. Salahuddin Ayyubi's legacy is one of unparalleled significance, not only in Islamic history but also in the broader narrative of global leadership, warfare, and governance. Revered as a model of virtue, justice, and faith, Salahuddin's life and accomplishments have inspired generations across cultures, religions, and eras. Reclaiming Jerusalem. The crowning achievement of Salahuddin's career was the recapture of Jerusalem in 1187, following the decisive Battle of Hattin. This monumental victory marked the end of nearly a century of Crusader rule and was a turning point in the Crusades. Unlike the bloodshed that followed the Crusaders' conquest of the city in 1099, Salahuddin's retaking of Jerusalem was characterized by mercy and justice. He granted safe passage to the defeated Crusaders and their families, allowing them to leave the city without harm. Those unable to pay their ransom were freed through Salahuddin's generosity. His actions not only showcased the principles of Islamic compassion and justice but also earned him admiration even from his enemies. This event cemented Salahuddin's reputation as a leader of unmatched magnanimity and humanity. A unifying figure in the Muslim world. Salahuddin's efforts to unite the fragmented Muslim world were another cornerstone of his legacy. Before his rise, the Muslim territories were divided into rival states, often at odds with one another. Through strategic diplomacy, military campaigns, and visionary leadership, Salahuddin brought together these disparate regions under a single banner. This unification was not merely a political achievement, it was a spiritual and cultural revival. Salahuddin's leadership reinvigorated the Muslim world's sense of purpose and identity, emphasizing the shared values of faith, justice, and resistance against oppression. His ability to transcend tribal and regional differences set an example for future generations of Muslim leaders. Inspiring chivalry and respect, Salahuddin's conduct during his campaigns earned him widespread admiration, even among his adversaries. His chivalrous behavior, adherence to ethical principles, and respect for his opponents set him apart from many leaders of his time. A notable example of this is his interactions with Richard the Lionheart during the Third Crusade. Despite being on opposite sides of the conflict, Salahuddin and Richard developed a relationship marked by mutual respect. Salahuddin famously sent medical aid and fresh horses to Richard when the English king fell ill during the campaign. This act of kindness underscored Salahuddin's commitment to the ideals of chivalry and honor. This respect extended beyond his lifetime, with Western historians and chroniclers often portraying Salahuddin as a paragon of virtue and leadership. His story became a symbol of the possibility of coexistence and mutual respect between different cultures and faiths. Cultural and religious legacy. Salahuddin's impact on Islamic culture and religious thought was profound. His actions and policies were deeply rooted in Islamic teachings, serving as a practical demonstration of the principles of justice, compassion, and devotion to Allah. He supported religious scholars, built mosques and educational institutions, and ensured that Islamic teachings were accessible to the masses. Salahuddin's commitment to education and spiritual growth contributed to a renaissance in Islamic scholarship and culture during his reign. His emphasis on faith as a guiding principle continues to resonate in the Muslim world, where he is regarded as a role model for Islamic leadership. Architect of military strategy. Salahuddin's military campaigns and strategies have been studied extensively by historians and military scholars. His ability to combine tactical brilliance with patience and long-term planning made him one of the most formidable commanders of his era. His use of psychological warfare, strategic alliances, and calculated offensives allowed him to achieve victories against numerically superior forces. Salahuddin's campaigns demonstrated the importance of adaptability, discipline, and unity in warfare. These lessons have influenced military thought for centuries and remain relevant in modern strategic studies. A global symbol of justice and leadership. Beyond his immediate accomplishments, Salahuddin has become a global symbol of justice, leadership, and moral integrity. His story has been celebrated in literature, art, and popular culture, from medieval chronicles to modern films and novels. He is remembered not just as a conqueror but as a leader who exemplified the highest ideals of humanity. For Muslims, Salahuddin represents the embodiment of Islamic values in action. His life is a source of inspiration and pride, serving as a reminder of the potential for greatness when faith, justice, and leadership converge. For others, he stands as a universal figure whose legacy transcends religious and cultural boundaries. Salahuddin Ayyubi's impact did not end with his death in 1193. His example continues to inspire leaders, scholars, and ordinary people around the world. His life serves as a testament to the power of character, vision, and faith in shaping history. In a world often divided by conflict and misunderstanding, Salahuddin's legacy offers a timeless message of unity, compassion, and the pursuit of justice. It is this enduring relevance that ensures Salahuddin Ayyubi's place among the greatest figures in human history. Salahuddin Ayyubi's life is a testament to the timeless ideals of justice, faith, and unity. As one of the most revered figures in Islamic history, his journey from a modest upbringing to becoming a unifying leader and defender of Jerusalem is a story of perseverance, vision, and unwavering commitment to principles. Salahuddin's legacy is not just about the battles he fought but also about the values he upheld in the face of challenges. At a time when the Muslim world was fractured and vulnerable, Salahuddin emerged as a beacon of hope and resilience. His ability to unite warring factions and rally them around a common cause was a reflection of his extraordinary leadership and deep understanding of human nature. Salahuddin did not merely seek to conquer territories, he sought to revive a sense of shared identity and purpose among Muslims. One of his most enduring achievements was the recapture of Jerusalem. While this victory is often celebrated for its military significance, it is equally remarkable for the compassion and humanity Salahuddin displayed in its aftermath. His mercy towards the defeated Crusaders and the Christian population of the city set a standard for ethical conduct in warfare. It also reflected his profound commitment to the Islamic principles of justice and mercy. Salahuddin's governance further exemplified his dedication to serving his people. As a ruler, He focused on the well-being of his subjects, implementing reforms that improved education, healthcare, and infrastructure. His support for scholars, artists, and theologians fostered a cultural and intellectual renaissance that left a lasting impact on the Muslim world. Beyond his political and military achievements, Salahuddin's character remains a source of inspiration. His humility, generosity, and respect for his adversaries earned him admiration from friends and foes alike. Even Richard the Lionheart, his rival during the Third Crusade, recognized Salahuddin's virtues and honored him as a true knight. This mutual respect transcended the battlefield and became a symbol of the potential for understanding and coexistence between different cultures and faiths. In modern times, Salahuddin Ayyubi is celebrated not just as a historical figure but as a symbol of integrity, leadership, and devotion to higher ideals. His life serves as a reminder that greatness is not merely about power or conquest but about the ability to inspire and uplift others. His story continues to resonate across the world, offering lessons in unity, compassion, and the pursuit of justice. As we reflect on Salahuddin's legacy, it is clear that his impact goes far beyond his own era. He remains a guiding light for those who aspire to lead with wisdom, courage, and a sense of responsibility toward humanity. In a world often marked by division and conflict, Salahuddin's example reminds us of the power of faith, unity, and moral integrity to bring about meaningful change. His life is not just a chapter in history but a timeless narrative of what it means to lead with purpose and heart.